village in Ireland elevation-wise. Okay, look at little kids heading off to school here. Okay. Now, Roundwood Inn, right-hand side, Coachman Inn, left-hand side, 2 pubs centre the village. Okay. On the right-hand side, the old school goes back to 1923. That's primary education. The new school is behind it, the St. Lawrence O'Toole School. There's a load of new development going on here. You buy a house around here now for about 450,000. You got your pharmacy. You got your little cafe. You got your central food store. Okay, on the right-hand side, central food store. No Irish village will be complete today without the Chinese takeaway. Walk you like, yeah, on the right-hand side. Yeah. The post office, the central seat for communication in the village. The master butcher shop, Keith Grant's Master Butchers, poultry, vegetables, the whole lot. Your barber shop, your Garda station, your police station on the left, another pub on the right. Now, because this village is developing, there's going to have to be bigger food stores, but maybe another food store. Look, they just got themselves a little credit union, little bank, look on the left hand side. You got your parish hall, you got your hardware store. Anyone heard of a place called Port St. Lucia in Florida? Yeah. The local Catholic priest there is Father Johnny McAvoy. That was his first church on the right hand side there.
Oh wow.
Because I had his parishioners a couple of years ago. And down to the left, the Battery House, which is named after John Battery, that brought the piped water into Dublin. And that's that little village there. So that's a neat, clean little village. It's a beautiful little village, okay, called Roundwood. Second highest elevation village in Ireland. We get a lot of rain here, folks. We get a lot of rain, but we get very little snow. But when it does snow, villages like that do get kind of isolated, okay? Because we do not have the equipment. You know, we don't simply have the equipment for snow plowing or anything like that, okay? Right. Now, one thing, folks, that you will notice in Ireland, okay? We drive with an awful lot of courtesy, okay? And if we're holding up traffic, people will move in out of the way. Like, I am a larger vehicle, I'm driving at touring speed, I'm delaying all these people behind me. That's just not right. Yeah? So you let them off, you don't delay the situation, and when they're gone, you pull out again. Simple as that. It's just a bit of courtesy. Just like New Jersey. Anyway, I want to show you making light of it. Right, folks, so look, let me continue on with this, okay? Back to the Celts. Folks, can I ask you a question? Within the Celtic Kingdom, what people do you think were respected the most? It's priests and the Druids? Nah. They were also advisors to the chiefs. You said they'd be like kind of a politician, you know what I'm saying? They were also like politicians, so no. Oh, the chieftain? Oh, jeez, no, that's a touchy one.
The warriors.
When you say the chieftain, yeah, hold on, just bear with me. So when you say the chief, you'd be saying the leader of any country would be the most respected at any one time. So it's not the chieftain. But some lady got it there, the warriors. The Celtic warriors were the most respected in the kingdom. It's very simple, folks. Be you from Canada, be you from Australia, be you from anywhere in Europe, be you from America. If I asked anybody, do you respect your military, what are they going to say?
Yes.
There you go. Simple answer. How come you don't have one?
Well, it's not that.
Canada has a military.
Not a big one. Not a big one.
Hold on a second, we've got a very small military here. Very small. But we respect them. You don't have to have a huge mighty military to respect your military. Okay? Anyway, it is the warriors. Okay, it is the warriors. Right? Now, folks, July, okay, on the hill of Uisneach, in the middle of Ireland, the Celts went and celebrated the beginning of the harvest season. It was very important to pray to the gods and ask the gods for a successful harvest. Because, folks, in a world without farmers, would we survive? Nope. Humans depend on the farmers of the world. For me, farmers are the most important people, okay, in the world, because without them, we wouldn't exist. Would you agree with me there somewhat?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And to be honest, I don't know about your country, but I think in this country they get a raw deal a lot of the times. It's a tough industry. It's a tough, and it's 7 days a week. There's no holidays in that job. Right, now, at the end of the harvest season, folks, the Celts were so thankful to the gods. And the God of light brought all the sunshine to grow the harvest. The days were longer during the summer months. And they feared that if they didn't give the gods a proper celebration and a proper thank you, that the world might descend into darkness and the brighter days of the harvest season would never come again. So it was a huge day of celebration every year. Now, they believed that the link between this life and the afterlife was kind of all in one on that day. And loved ones that had passed would come back and celebrate the end of the harvest season with them. But here was the situation, folks. What about when you went to war with a neighboring kingdom? What about the people you slayed defending your kingdom or whatever? Those evil spirits that you saw to be evil, the ones that might try and harm you, they might come back on that day as well. So the Celts would seal their identity by wearing animal skins and covering their faces either by painting or big straw masks. They would light great big bonfires to ward off the evil spirits, and then out of a burnt cinder they would place it outside a cut-out turnip at the door of their dwelling home to ward off the evil spirits. Does that sound like anything we celebrate in the world today?
Halloween.
All Hallows Eve, you see, folks, was the last day of harvest season. Last day of harvest season. All Hallows Eve. Today is Halloween. Correct. You're welcome. We got you Halloween. Okay? I told you by the end of the story, I learned that everything originated in Ireland. Pausing in for 1 second, this little village called Anamo. Anamo, which means the crossing point of the little cows. We saw a gourmet burger restaurant yesterday called Bobo's. Cow. Mo is little cow. MBO, little cow. So Aha, crossing point, the little cows now. That's just the name of the village. Who lives here? Well, people, obviously. But anyone important, would you think? Have you heard of a film director and filmmaker called John Boorman? He did Excalibur in 1981 with Liam Neeson and Helen Mirren. Then he did a cult classic with Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox, John Voight, and Burt Reynolds. Deliverance. That was John Boorman. He lives in his village. Now, he's got a neighbour that's got 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor in a Leading Role. Okay? Best Actor in a Leading Role. There Will Be Blood. My Left Foot. Lincoln.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, why would you not live here? Look at this.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
See the sign here, sale agreed, this house left inside? Probably about 450,000. At a guess, I'm only guessing now, in and around there. Okay? This is a beautiful area. Wicklow is beautiful. Right, back to the Celts. Folks, the last big stronghold for Celtic Europe, are you with me?
Yeah.
Was a place called the Gaul. The Gaul would be modern day France. And in the summer of 52 BC, the Roman armies were descending upon the Gaul under the command of an emperor called Julius Caesar. Have you heard of him? Right. The leader of the Celtic kingdoms, the top dog that time in the Gaul, was a Celtic chieftain called Vercingetorix. And Vercingetorix and Julius Caesar are about to go to war. Look on the right hand side. See this? Speed camera van. That's a speed camera van on the right hand side. Okay, in case you're wondering what that is. Right. The Romans are victorious. Eventually England gets seized by the Romans. This is where it gets important, folks. It gets seized by the Romans. Are you with me?
Yep.
Yeah.
But when the Romans tried to push forward up into today what would be the Highlands of Scotland or up into Scotland, the Celts unified together there as one. And we're told they charged against the Romans with their hair waxed up and their heads to make themselves appear taller, their faces all painted up and completely naked, charging into battle. And they drove the Romans back. And under Emperor Hadrian, if you've heard of Emperor Hadrian, they thought, these guys are nuts. So Emperor Hadrian ordered the building of a wall to leave those savages above where they belong. Have you heard of Hadrian's Wall in Scotland?
Yes.
There you go. Now, Ireland. Ireland remained, because people often say to me, Murt, if Ireland must be Roman roads here. There is not. You've Celtic roads. You've no Roman roads. Why? Because the Romans never invaded Ireland. The Romans never got here, folks. They call this place Hibernia, which means the land of winter. Have you heard of an organization in North America called the Ancient Order of Hibernians?
Yes.
That comes from the Latin word of Hibernia, meaning the land of winter. Now we have in recent years, I'm talking about 30, 40 years, found Roman coinage on the east coast of Ireland. So now we know the Romans possibly traded with the Celts, but never invaded this country. That's why today Scotland and Ireland remains very strong with its Celtic traditions. Our language, the red hair, the sport of hurling or football we play, these are all old Celtic traditions. And people who come to visit us, they keep in touch with Celtic traditions. They either buy jewellery in Celtic designs, or maybe even get some body art, a tattoo with a Celtic design. Because signs and symbols meant everything to the Celts. Okay. Folks, in the 400s, are you with me? Just hold on a second, I'm nearly there. We're nearly to Glendalough. In the 400s, a missionary comes to Ireland. But he didn't just arrive for the first time. He'd been here before. Because you see, folks, at 16, in a slave raid on the southern side of the Severn Valley, this kid was taken. He was only 16 years of age, by the O'Neill clan, today anglicised the name O'Neill. He was kept as a slave in the mountains of Antrim, okay, under captivity for 6 years, tending flocks of sheep and pigs. And then he escapes, and he makes it to his homeland, back to the southern side of the Severn Valley. He becomes a priest. Now he's in France and he's a bishop, and he's teaching Christianity. But he said during a sleep one night he got a vision. And this is according to his letters. And that vision was the pagan people of Ireland, the Celtic people, to come and save them, to bring Christianity into Ireland. Can anyone tell me who that was? Not Francis. Patrick. He goes by our patron saint, St. Patrick, today. Folks, he has an enormous undertaking. He lands in Ireland, okay? And Ireland at the time was a lot bigger than what I told you it was. Remember I told you it was 32,000 square miles? Do you know how big it was back then? 32,000 square miles. What I mean by that, folks, I can drive you today with the road networks that we have from the west coast to the east coast in 5 hours. Back then that would take 5 weeks. I could take you from the north to the tip today, the north to the south, in nine hours. Back then that would take 9 weeks. Now there was about 142 has or kingdoms around Ireland at the time. 140. That is huge. And he's selling something. What's he selling? He's selling Christianity. He wants these people to believe that all the gods that they believe in are all false gods. There's only one God, and that's the Christian God. Can you imagine, folks, when he gets to his first kingdom? Who does he need to convince first? The chieftain, right? He needs to get to the chieftain first. And he rocks up and he says, listen, wait till I tell you a story. There is no Daga. There is no Luna. There is no Angus Oak. There is no gods. There's only one God. And he died over 400 years ago on a Friday, and they knelt him to a cross. He was dead all day Saturday. But you know what he did? He died for our sins, and he got up again on Sunday. These guys must be thinking, what in the name of God is this guy smoking? He must have passed Amsterdam on his way over here. Yeah? Folks, he convinces them. Kingdom by kingdom start to convert to Christianity. And if you're asked here this morning, folks, when does Ireland become a Christian country? I can tell you now, it's the year of 432. Ireland becomes a Christian country. 432. So why are we here? Because followers of St. Patrick continued on the teachings of the Christian faith. And then there was followers of St. Patrick. So St. Kevin here this morning was a follower of three holy men who were followers of St. Patrick. We all got it? Mm-hmm. So now you're brought up to basically going out inside here. Now you can see already, folks, we already have a bus of students here. Already. Okay? This place gets crazy busy. And I mean crazy busy. By the time we're leaving here at 10:45, we're leaving here 10:45, there will be a lot of people here. So that's why I want to get you out in sight before it gets all crazy. Okay? Now, I want you to go up to the green doors here. Oh, sorry, they've changed the colour, they're now grey doors. Go up to the grey doors here, wait there, they'll open them, we'll get you into the restrooms. Okay? Now sometimes they will get us to use the restrooms at the side. You need your green boxes. You don't need jackets for rain. Maybe something to keep you warm, but folks, you do not need